Disclaimer, this true crime comedy podcast is based on a fake crime. Enjoy! Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Welcome to Murder. Woo! I am Val.
And I'm Maggie.
Wow, you are Maggie. And are you, Maggie, ready to listen about the dinner party murder of 1936?
Ooh, yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Yes. So, let's start this tale of murder with Helen Marlowe.
Fun name.
I know, right? It just kind of roll off the tongue.
Yeah.
Helen Marlowe. She's a politician.
Okay.
Yeah, a politician named Helen Marlowe.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, I have a picture of Helen Marlowe. Helen Marlowe's one of those names that you kind of want to say the entire name.
Yes.
Like, not just Helen. It's
Helen Marlowe.
Here she is.
Okay.
Yes. So yes, she is a Black female politician in the 1930s.
Yes.
Yes. As there should be.
As it should be.
And Helen Marlowe was a politician who advocated for women's rights and equal pay because, unfortunately, even back in the 1930s, there was still unequal pay for women and men.
Wait, men and women don't get paid equally?
That's so unrealistic.
That's totally horrible.
Wow.
We should fix that.
We should fix that. So, an example of this being, in 1937, women were paid $525 a year, and men were paid $1,027 a year. Now, in today's money, that'll be equated to $9,000 a year for women and $18,000 for men. I hate it here. We'll move one day. So Helen Marlowe, seeing all this injustice, was like, you know what? I'm going to try to do something about this. I'm going to have a dinner party about it.
That's how you got things done in the 1930s, and I'm all for it.
As the people in the 1930s would say, that's slapping.
Slapping?
Slapping.
That was 1930s slang?
I'm completely guessing here, but I'm going to assume yes. Because I can see, I don't know, I can see someone in the 1930s go, that's slapping, guys. Can you not?
I just picturing some guy with suspenders on going, that's
slapping! What if he slaps his suspenders? Like, that's slapping!
That's it. That's where it came from. All right. We
got it. So she wanted to host a dinner party of women from every single social and financial sector, just to talk about, women's rights, equal pay, should we, when would we, fun stuff, casual stuff.
Casual.
And to do so, she placed a personal ad out in the newspaper to call out for every woman to just say, hey, having a dinner party. RSVP, please.
Women! I need women! Women! Where are you?
Me every day of my life. I'm just women! But yes, and the people who responded were as followed. So we had Amelia James, who was a housewife. Now, fun fact, housewives in the 1930s were strongly encouraged but to stay in the home and do not get a job.
Oh.
Yeah, I know.
Take care of the kids
and the cooking and all that kind of stuff.
I assume they were probably highly encouraged to have kids.
Oh, 100%. Unmarried women, such as the lovely Jane Parker, were not super encouraged to stay at home because they didn't have a family to take care of. And she was a factory worker at a clothing factory who had big Hollywood dreams.
Oh.
That old cliche?
Yeah.
But also, I feel like she would do great in the movies.
Oh, no, I'm looking at her right now, and I'm thinking,
she's slapping.
I was thinking more I'd see a movie starring her, but I mean, maybe that movie is slapping.
And then another woman who participated was Patricia Lynn. She was an actress in the Federal Theater Project, which was created in 1935 by Hallie Flanagan.
Oh, so it was a thing that had a woman.
Yes, it was led by Hallie Flanagan. She was the director. She spent many years researching theater.
Wow.
You should look her up. She's really cool.
Okay. All right.
Yes. And also and again, another stunning woman.
Yes. Is it just a prerequisite for every woman in the 1930s to be stunning?
Yes.
Is that in order to be alive in this era, you must be beautiful.
God, yeah, I hope so. Because that would make sense. And then we have Molly Bradbury, who's a U.S. military nurse.
Oh, that explains the
The
very
li-
proper position.
The little funky hat.
Yes, everyone knows that all nurses back then wore the little funky hat.
Listen, and finally, we have the last guest, who is Sarah Sterling, who is a socialite whose husband worked in big oil.
Oh.
Yes.
Wait.
Yes.
Are you related to this woman distantly? You look very similar to her.
No. Listen, okay, look, she has no bangs. She has no bangs, and I do have bangs. So clearly we're not related. No.
Fine, I'll take your word for it.
No touchy bang. So these 6 women all gathered together in Helen Marlowe's house on September 19th, 1936, in order to have a pleasant conversation, some wine, some cookies maybe, just to talk about, women's rights and, should women get equal pay?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. But then, unfortunately, as all things must do, things don't really come according to plan. In fact, things get quite dastardly, and a murder happens.
My husband is a well-accomplished man from a well-accomplished family, Miss Lynn. And how did they get there? The American dream. They came to this country with nothing.
Only their overseas fortune.
Well, it's not his fault his family found all that oil.
All right, ladies, I would love to get this started now. Please help yourselves to some food and wine. I have some guiding questions to start us off, but if you have any thoughts, feel free to just jump in. Who wants to begin?
I will start. First of all, thank you, Mrs. Marlowe, for so kindly having us in your home. It is so quaint. As for the discussion, I believe I have all the rights I need. The system is working fine by my standards.
Of course it's working fine for your standards. You don't have to work all day. The rest of us do.
I'm unemployed.
Okay, what do you do all day?
I take care of my 2 children, Nancy and Robert. They are my whole world, and I would do anything for them.
They're adorable. Miss James showed me a picture of them at the beginning of the evening.
Mrs. James, what does your husband do?
He's a mechanic, Miss Parker.
Oh, please call me Jane.
He's a mechanic, Jane.
Amelia, you've got to get yourself some work. You should audition for the upcoming productions. The project is looking for new talent. Your kids are not babies anymore, and your mother lives nearby, and...
Miss Lynn, have you and Mrs. James met before?
Once, briefly. I saw her, my husband and I saw her in Julius Caesar a few months ago, and she was just stunning on that stage, and we stopped by the stage door and got her autograph and chatted for a little bit.
I do believe I asked Miss Lynn to answer.
And now I don't have to. Thank you, Miss James.
Mrs. James.
Right, Mrs. James. My apologies. I'm used to being in a room full of non-married women, and now I find myself in a room full of wives.
Do you think I'm married? Please, I barely have time to take care of myself with the hours they have me working. I have the worst shifts thanks to the damn economy. I just want to make enough money to get out of here.
Why would you want to leave New York?
Because I hate working in factories, and that's the only work I'll get here. I'm about a month away from having enough for a one-way ticket to Hollywood. I could have a whole different life, maybe even be an actress out there.
You could act here as Miss Lynn does.
Sure, I could, but the big screen is where I need to be. I would do anything to get the rest of the money I need.
Thank you for your input, Miss Parker.
Oh, please call me Jane.
Thank you for your input, Jane.
Dear Miss Jane, I believe I can get you to Hollywood 5 times over just for my finger. You all don't need rights. You all need better husbands. Are you all right, Mrs. James?
Strong wine.
I'll get you some water, Mrs. James. Mrs. Marlowe, where's your kitchen?
Oh, Helen showed me earlier. Allow me. You keep going.
Mrs. Bradbury, you've been awfully quiet. Has anything resonated with you? You're an army nurse, correct? Well, first, thank you for your service. Our country would suffer without people like you fighting to protect our freedoms. Is there anything the government can do locally for you and other women who are serving?
More beer.
More. Oh, like a celebratory dinner for women who serve every year. What an excellent idea, Mrs. Bradbury. I'm sure that we can do that for you.
Here you go, Mrs. James. Mrs. Marlowe, there was something in your oven that smelled about done.
Oh, the cookies. Please excuse me.
Where's Jane?
Powdering her nose.
This wine is awful! My husband gets all of our wine from a vineyard in Spain. This is clearly from California. It is making me ill.
Please help yourselves. Also, I forgot I had this bottle of wine, a 1925 Spanish Merlot. There's about a glass left in the bottle.
Well, I just finished. Can you fill me up?
Oh, why, of course, Mrs. Sterling.
Now, where were we?
Thank you.
We were about to toast. When else would we have such an array of women in one room? To womankind, we are the future.
You're here.
What's that?
Oh, that's the fuse box. I can fix it if you show me.
Of course, it's down the hall, second door on the left, down the stairs and to the right.
Now, this is how you make good wine, Mrs. Marlowe. Take my advice and do get more of this stuff. The California stuff simply cannot compare to the European way.
Well, Mrs. Sterling, buying from within the country helps our economy.
Well, Mrs. Marlowe, perhaps locally you can import more Spanish wine.
What's going on?
What was
So
that?
sorry. When I had to turn off the lights to fix this, just let me, and there. Oh, I'm coming back up. The lights should return soon.
Ah, that's much better. Thank you, Mrs. James.
It's really very simple. Mine gets fussy quite often, so I've learned how to handle it. I can show you how to fix it next time it happens. This evening?
Are you all going to ignore the dead body?
What?
What?
How do you even know she's dead? You're not even close to her.
I am an army nurse. A dead body is an occupational hazard.
We need to call an ambulance. I mean, the police, the firefighters, the animal rescue.
Amelia, darling, remember your breathing exercises. In for 4, out for 4. There you are. Keep at it. Helen, where's your phone?
I can't let you call anyone. My husband doesn't know I'm holding this event, and he can't ever find out.
I'm sorry. You're telling us we just have to sit here with a dead body because dear Mr. Marlowe can't handle you being in progressive politics? You need a better husband.
I can't handle this. Whoever killed her must be in this room.
Someone killed her? It wasn't just a heart attack or a stroke?
That is a poisoned corpse. The military sucks.
I can't believe I invited a murderer into my home.
Or maybe you invited us to a murderer's home.
I haven't invited you anywhere else. What? Oh, you mean me? You think that I did... Wait, you think that I did it?
Well, you don't like women like her. They are the ones that prevent their husbands from making real change around here. You needed her approval for your cause, and when you didn't get it, you figured you might as well just do off with her.
You did seem upset with her, and you left the room earlier, giving you enough time to plant the poison.
Mrs. James, you left the room too, and when the lights came up, you were right next to Mrs. Sterling. You could have slipped something right into her mouth.
How can you even tell how close I am to anyone from where you're sitting?
Jane, you are awfully quick to point fingers.
Oh, please, do you think I would kill her? I'm trying to get out of here, not go to prison.
Mrs. Sterling clearly stated that her wedding ring would be more than enough to cover a trip to California.
And what better way to get famous than to commit a crime? A woman with a heart of gold turned to murder for the glory of the spotlight. That would make an interesting play. Amelia, remind me to write that down.
Okay. Clearly you and Mrs. James have talked more than a chat after a performance.
We're friends. After meeting, she gave me her address, and we've been pen pals since. My husband doesn't know about it, though. He thinks all actresses are frivolous and foolish.
And we would appreciate it if you kept this to yourselves.
Oh, Miss Marlowe, I am so sorry we didn't tell you we knew each other sooner.
Dear Mrs. James, there's no need to apologize.
Remember the dead body we still have to deal with?
Does it really matter that she's dead?
Jane, how could you say such a thing?
Well, listen. With women like her having power over situations, we all lose liberties. Helen, your policies lose traction with women like her at the helm.
Her husband did accuse me of being a communist 2 months ago. Almost ruined my career.
Patricia, you could move up in the theater project. You could be the next Hallie Flanagan. But with women like Sarah Sterling not willing to make a stink, no one will budge. I could have been in Hollywood months ago if the owners would just give us our fair share. And Amelia.
I'm just home all day. None of this affects me.
But it does. Patricia said your kids were getting older so you could pursue work or a hobby. You've proven to know your way around electricity. Imagine if you could go back to school to become an electrician. That can't happen unless we get more people on board. Women in power are only helpful when they stand for justice. Sarah here was never going to be on the same page.
Here's the plan. We are all going to leave. Helen, call the cops. Tell them Mrs. Sterling came to your door asking for some water. You went to go get it, and when you came back into the room, she was dead.
Won't your neighbors know that we're all here?
Oh, this whole neighborhood is my husband's business. The only people who are home are the wives and the kids. They all know better than to tattle.
That's another problem, but we'll deal with that another time. We all never speak a word of this.
Let's go. Thanks for the beers, Mrs. Marlowe.
Helen, you got this? Let's grab a bite next month when this all calms down. We can talk politics. Good night, Amelia and Patricia. I promise I won't tell anyone about your friendship.
Well, I have a phone call to make. You'll have to come by some other time to show me the fuse box. Good night, ladies.
That was close.
But you're so cute when you think on your feet.
Shh, she could still hear us.
Look, what matters is you prevented a massive scandal with your beautiful lies. Our love and reputations remain intact.
Unless one of us is the murderer. But I guess we'll never know who that was. You know, I have some time before...
I'll meet you outside.
So who do you think did it? Oh, I think it's Jane. Really? 100%.
she had the motive because she wanted money to go to Hollywood, and Sarah clearly had that money on her.
I mean, I suppose. Well, with that in mind, let's jump forward to 1982.
1982?
Well, until that point, everyone thought that Sarah just kind of showed up and died.
Is that a common thing for people to do?
I mean, I sure hope not. That'd be kind
Yeah.
of a bother to some people. Like, oh, hey, dead body right there on the street.
I know, yeah.
But also enters Chris Young, who's an investigative journalist.
Ooh.
He had a special interest for some reason in strange deaths that occurred in 1930 specifically. Listen,
You do you, bud. You do you.
You do you. You're good. It's thanks to you that we know this information, so good for you.
Thank you.
Thanks. And so that looked a little sus, just kind of like she was the only case of someone just showing up and dying. So see, it wasn't that common. And so he actually even recovered the wine bottle from the pawn shop, from the original wine bottle from the scene. Just roll with it. I don't want to know too much about this man's methods. And the only reason why the pawn shop even accepted it was because Merlot was a really rare wine in the 1930s.
Of course, Sarah would like rare wine.
Of course, Sarah would like wine from Spain. And so he sent off the wine bottle to the lab for some analyzing, just making sure there's nothing kinky going on with the wine. Make sure the wine is slapping still. But the wine and then the lab came back, and apparently the bottle was actually poisoned. There was poison in the wine, specifically arsenic.
Classic poison.
Classic poison.
Sounds fake.
Arsenic?
Yeah.
Like the word arsenic?
Yeah, it just sounds like it's like a fake poison name.
It's certainly not, because only 180 milligrams of that stuff can kill you. But the lab found that 500 milligrams of that stuff was in the wine bottle.
Oh, she was dead.
Oh, she was dead. And so the pawn shop also offered the receipts of the person who actually sold them the wine.
Good bookkeeping.
And so they found out actually it was Patricia who sold the wine.
Wait, Patricia?
Yeah, it was kind of strange. Chris also thought it was strange. So he decided to go and visit her because she was still alive at the time and just ask her what's up. Like, why did he sell this bottle of wine? Oddly enough. And as soon as Chris even mentioned it, she just confessed to everything. She admitted what happened to Sarah, what happened to the cover-up, what happened to, everything that happened. And she even confessed that she was indeed the murderer.
It was Patricia?
Patricia was the one who poisoned Sarah.
Why?
Well, for love. Love. She was in love with Amelia. She and Amelia were just more than just pen pals.
Oh, they were gal pals.
They were gal pen pals. So while Jane was in the bathroom and Patricia was just in the kitchen, she was looking around, just seeing what can happen, because Sarah was starting to suspect that she and Amelia were just those gal pen pals, and saw the insecticide, which had arsenic in it. And so she took the poison, took the wine, combined the two, fatal wine.
Wait, wouldn't Sarah have tasted that her wine was weird?
Well, actually, no, because fun fact, arsenic was originally used as just a little bit, to boost the flavor of wine. That's why Sarah didn't know a single thing as she drank it.
Wait, so you're telling me that people throughout history have just been poisoning themselves?
Yeah, how badass is that?
Pretty cool.
Yeah, pretty cool. Patricia even cited saying that, I didn't mean to kill Sarah then. She was going to die in her sleep. So this whole thing just went off the rails for her. And that is the dinner party murder of 1936. Because as we all know, when gals are pals, there's always something a little bit more. And I'm Val.
I'm Maggie.
And this has been Murder, because we both have a flair for murder.